we should get into your background because, and this is the thing that hopefully, if you guys at Blabbermouth are listening, maybe we'll get a little article on this. So.
Everybody's going to think I'm the biggest jerk off listening to this thing. I hope no one listens to me.
People will be listening. But, so you are in the band Prong, legendary New York band, and I think the interesting thing, too, is you probably were not even born when Prong started.
Nope.
So
That's actually the ongoing joke on stage. Right before we play Disbelief, Tommy will constantly say, he's like, yeah, he wasn't even born when this song came out. And I was like, yeah, I was not.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, I was about... That song came out in 1987. The band started in 86. I was born in 99.
Wow.
Yeah, so what, 13 years?
You were so much younger than us. So, okay, what's the story behind meeting the guys in Prong, becoming the drummer? Because, like I said, legendary band.
Yeah, it's funny because I tell Tommy all the time, like, when I was a kid, I don't even know how I found out about them. Maybe I found it on, like, one of, like, Music Choice or whatever. But I remember going, when I was a kid, going on FrostWire and illegally downloading Carved Into Stone when it came out. And I remember walking around my grandparents' living room, which is now my living room since I live there now. Walking around just listening to Eternal Heat, and then now, 12 years later after that came out, I'm playing it with them, which is wild to even say. But Griffin, the drummer before, has been a good friend of mine for years. He's one of the best drummers I've ever met. Even learning his parts off of the newest record is a pain in the ass, and I curse him pretty much daily for it. Me and him were talking. They happened to be playing on Long Island. I was like, yo, I'll definitely be at the show. He's like, oh, well, I need a drum tech. You want to do it? I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Because Tommy's been like, I've been looking at Tommy like an idol for years now. And he messaged me. He's like, all right, so be here at this time, whatever. Went to the rehearsal, met him. We did 2 shows together where I teched. Me and Tommy got along very well because he doesn't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, bud. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, bud. But he doesn't know many kids that like listen to Killing Joke. And that's one of my favorite bands. That's one of his favorite bands. If you listen to any Prong song, you could definitely hear the Jazz Coleman influence on his vocals, which is something that I grew very much in love with from all my years of listening to them. Me and him just started hitting it off about that, just shit talking. Like, we got along great. Tommy took my number down. A couple months later, Griffin ended up leaving because he's in the band Adam and the Metal Hawks. So he went on to go do that. Tommy gave me a call about an audition. I showed up to the audition. He still makes fun of me for this. With these fucking construction headphones that I use to, as earplugs.
Sure.
But they made the drums sound great. Whenever you put those things on, and when you hit the toms, it sounds studio quality. I don't give a fuck what he says. But he still makes fun of me for that. He's like, I can't believe I even gave you a second audition. I'm like, fuck you, dude. But I love him to death. He, we did the show. I mean, we did the rehearsal. I did a second rehearsal. I unfortunately didn't get it. He played one show with another drummer.
Oh, wow.
We were actually at that show.
Yeah. And I ended up seeing
Angel and Whiplash.
Yep.
And Prong. And I was sitting next to Tyler. And I was like, Tyler, what do you think about this drummer guy who got it over you? And Tyler's like, I'm texting Tommy right now. This guy's fucking up all the parts. And literally, I was like, really? I thought they sounded good. A week later, Tyler's in Prong.
Wow. So, like, how do you not nerd out if this is a band that you grew up listening to and, like, become their peer even though you're much younger?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, just being able to hang out with Tommy has been awesome. He's such a great dude. It was, it's kind of funny because I sat there, like, I'm 25 now, but I was starting to get to the point where I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just focus on getting like an actual career and just not worry about playing anymore. And then 2 months later, Tommy calls me. I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's out of the picture.
Yeah, that's one of those like amazing signs sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you look at Prong is one of those bands where if you look at the Wikipedia, I mean, it's just like 1 million people have been in this band.
Yeah.
Do you see this being a long-term thing for you, like when they work
I
on
hope.
the next album? Or
I hope. I'm trying to get things moving. I hope. I get along with them great. I know that Jason, Christopher plays with us as well as Dean. Like it's kind of like a local versus non-local thing. Dean used to be Nita Strauss's bassist.
Oh, wow.
Jason used to be in Corey Taylor's solo band.
nice.
Oh.
So
Who we've had on the podcast?
Corey or Jason?
Corey Taylor.
Oh,
It was a big one for us.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, I get along with them, both of them great. I mean, whatever lineup's playing, whether it's me, Jason, Tommy, or me, Dean, Tommy.
So they switch it up.
Yeah, it really depends on where the show is. Like the tour that we did was me, Jason, and Tommy. And then now RPM Fest, which is next month, which who knows when this is airing. RPM Fest, that's going to be me, Dean, and Tommy. And
Does
whichever
the audience?
line.
Do you think the audience cares if it's like? Do they?
I don't think
prefer a
they
certain
care.
lineup, or-
I don't think anybody really cares. I've seen like comments and everything. One of my favorite comments was,
Who's this douchebag on drums?
it was we played King of Clubs. It was the first night of the tour. I think we went live. I don't know, and I like whenever like Prong stuff gets posted, I like to watch it, whether it's the live shows or that, because I'm very critical of my playing. I'll watch that, or like I'll just watch, like I'll read comments just to see who's shitting on me, because I find those comments hysterical.
It's usually me and Rich.
Yeah, usually. But there was one comment that I remember he posted. It was like, some dude just randomly wrote, "Where the fuck is the King of Clubs, and who the fuck is Tyler?" Because I was in the video with him, and I was like, that's my favorite comment. My mom commented, she's like, "Did you see what that person wrote?" I was like, yeah, it's hysterical. I'm like, come on. So, yeah, I don't think anybody really cares about the lineup. Obviously, everybody would love the original lineup. Like, everybody would love Ted Parsons back. Learning his parts is a pain in the ass. The dude's one of the best drummers I've ever had to learn parts for.
Yeah.
Him and Griffin both. Tommy's had a fair share of great drummers. Learning their parts is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they're all great. Like I'll what the fuck was the song? Lost and Found. We were jamming at soundcheck. I like had it. I was like, yeah, it sounds good. And Tommy's like, yeah, it sounds good. And then Jason pops on. He's like, now playing the part right. I was like, thanks. Now you just brought that to Tommy, and now Tommy knows I'm not playing the part right. So then I had to figure out how to learn it. So it's always been a fun thing learning with them. I felt like I was brought on the tour just to figure out how to fix the TVs for them.
But it is cool, like being able to do something with a band you respect. Because I can tell you just from
Yeah.
as I was saying, Corey Taylor, having him on the podcast, or Don Dock, and like as I interview these people, sometimes I'm like, holy shit, man! Like 15-year-old me would be freaking out.
Oh,
And
that's
I don't
exactly
think that
what
ever
I said.
loses you.
It's actually
or you don't
funny.
ever lose that.
Because, speaking of something like that, I joined the band on a Friday. Like, I went to his house, we jammed, and I was like, alright, so what's the moving forward? He's like, yeah, I think that's going to be the case. He was nervous about me because I never did a tour before, so, like, I didn't get to do the first 2 European tours that happened. So my first tour ended up being the Voivod one. But I played all the shows in between, like any local shows. But I joined the band on a Friday. Monday morning, I was at work. My buddy walks up to me and he's like, "You're playing the parking lot?" I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "You're playing the parking lot?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I know what you're talking about now.
Shows me my phone, like shows me his phone, and it says Metallica pre-show party, Prong at MetLife Stadium parking lot. I'm like, what? I had no idea what was happening.
Was that day one or day two? Because they had the different openers.
That was day one.
So that was with Pantera. Wow.
Yeah, so
I got there so late. I was
dude,
there.
that alone, I was just like, what the fuck is going on in my life right now? And I texted Tommy immediately. I was like, what? And I wrote LOL, and he's like, why are you laughing? I was like, because I wasn't expecting to wake up this morning to find out I'm opening for fucking Metallica, dude. He's like, you don't think you can handle it? I was like, no, I definitely can. But holy shit.
It was a cool idea how it was an unofficial couple of bands that went on before the actual. Yeah. I mean, the fact that Metallica was doing this whole thing where it's like two shows every city that they play, different lineup of songs, different set list, different openers every night, and then a different band playing in the parking lot before. I mean, how many bands you wish would do something like that? I mean, not many can do what Metallica does, but what an awesome idea. And, I mean, I remember leaving that show, and there were the people you would hear going by, man, I didn't even play Enter Sandman. But, like, I think for the diehard fan, they're like, this is what we wanted to see.
That's exactly what I wanted to see. Like, and it's also really cool because not even just for Prong and Overkill. The next show that they did, I think was in St. Louis or something like that. I don't remember exactly where, but they did. I remember they had a bunch of younger bands like Spirit World played. I think Fugitive.
Really?
I think it was it was a band that sounded like Fugitive, or maybe it was them. I remember that they had them. So it's also based on the fact that, like, listen, the fact that I was able to play that show, it's actually funny because Jason Bittner was supposed to do the whole set, and then he happened to catch COVID about 2 days prior to the set. I walked into Tommy's house, and he was just like, well, guess what? I was like, what? He's like, you're playing the whole set. I'm like, what? Because I was only supposed to play like 2 or 3 songs.
Wow.
I was supposed to do the new ones, and Jason was supposed to do the whole rest of the set. And he's like, Jason called COVID. You're up. I'm like, okay. It blew my mind.
I got there super late because of the traffic, so I didn't see you guys. I mean, what was the vibe of playing the parking lot prior to Metallica?
So we had a little bit of issues, like generator issues prior. We were supposed to go on at 3 o'clock. We didn't go on until like 3:30, 3:40 because the original generator they had wasn't powerful enough. Like, we sound checked, and then the PA cut, like, near the end. And then there was an issue with his amp. Like, they cut the power, and his amp was still on, and it almost fried his amp. Like, it was a shit show prior to. And then we played the show, like, no. I'm tripping over my words now. But
this is why you don't drink prior. No.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
I need another beer.
I need one too, bud.
Alright, keep going, guys.
So we did the first generator wasn't powerful enough. The second one was too powerful.
Okay.
Which blew my mind.
What does that mean?
That's a thing?
Yeah, apparently it was too powerful.
I did not know.
I don't know. I don't remember what exactly happened with it, but I remember it was too powerful. Fucking Modelo, really? Alright. It was too powerful. And then at that time it was like 2:45. And then they're like, alright, we have to go get another generator. I'm like, come on, like, what's going on? Like, and our set was supposed to be from 3 to 4. So we had to talk to the guy, like, can we just extend it to like 4:30? And then now we're sitting backstage, we're all stressing out a little bit, trying to figure out what songs to cut, what to keep. And then we finally got on around like 3:40, and I remember walking out, and like I was nervous as all hell prior to it. The later that we kept going on, the more the anxiety went away. By the time we went on, I remember walking on stage. I forgot, like, I had a beer in my hand, I think, or water, whatever the fuck I had. But I remember walking on stage, and I have it on video. You could see me just look at the crowd and go, holy shit. Because normally, like, literally the next week I played with them to about 12 people at Kingsland.
12 badass people.
Oh, yeah.
He's running parking lot people. Indoor
The pit was
thrash
sick.
metal.
Yeah. The pit around the fucking bar at Kingsland.
My uncle was like, you played in a parking lot. No sold the whole story. Like, yeah, but you played in the parking lot.
They set up a stage for us, it counts.
Yeah, but you played in a parking lot.
But,
I was like, it was Metallica. He's like, but it was a parking lot.